Hi students, in this lecture we will revise the portions covered hitherto in chapter number 1 on electric charges and fields. As you all know, the dates for PUC board examination and JEE examination have been declared, and you are required to prepare vigorously to face this examination to score 100 out of 100. You also know that chapter 1 is a very important chapter wherein you may have to answer about 20 to 25% of the questions. That is, 25% of the marks will be from this chapter. So, in this session, we will take up only questions and answers so as to cover the entire portions of chapter number 1 on electric charges and fields. Let us take question number 1. Who discovered that amber rubbed with wool or silk cloth attracts light objects? Please read the question. Who discovered that amber rubbed with wool or silk cloth attracts light objects? It is Thale of Miletus, Greece. Question number 2. A glass rod is rubbed with silk. By convention, what kind of charge is acquired by the glass rod? Answer is positive. Question number 3. A plastic rod is rubbed with fur. By convention, what kind of charge is acquired by plastic rod? Answer is negative. Question number 4. What is meant by polarity of charges? Answer. The property which differentiates the two kinds of charges is called polarity of charge. So, it is the polarity which differentiates the two kinds of charges is called the polarity of charge. Question number 5. Who named negative and positive kind of charges? Answer. Benjamin Franklin. Question number 6. With a neat diagram, explain gold leaf electroscope. Please see the figure. It consists of the gold leaf electroscope consists of a metal rod fixed in a box. This is a metal rod. This is a metal rod fixed in a box. Two thin gold leaves here. It is two thin gold leaves are attached to its bottom end. This is the bottom of the rod. Here gold leaves are attached. When a charged object touches the metal knob here is here. When a charged rod touches the metal knob at the top of the rod, charges flow on the leaves and they diverge due to repulsion. So when charge passes through, because of the diversion, charge, they diverge, they move away. The angle, the degree of divergence is an indicator of the amount of charge on the rod. Question number 7. How do you charge a body? Positively. By removing electrons. You know, when electrons are removed, the body becomes positively charged. How do you charge a body negatively? By adding electrons. If we add electrons by some means to a body, the body becomes negatively charged. If you remove electrons, it is positively charged, and if you add electrons, it is negatively charged. Please remember. What are conductors? Question number 9. Materials which allow electricity to pass through them are called conductors. What are insulators? Materials which do not allow electricity to pass through them easily are called insulators. Question number 11. What are semiconductors? Answer. Semiconductors are materials whose resistivity lies between those of conductors and insulators. Question number 12. What is the minimum amount of charge that can be added or removed from a body? That is, the minimum amount of charge is charge of an electron, which is equal to minus of 1.602192 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. This is the value of the charge of an electron. Question number 13. What is the charge of an electron? The answer is same as the previous one. That is, charge of electron is equal to minus, it is negatively charged, minus 1.602192 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. What is the mass of an electron? Mass of electron is m suffix e equals 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kgs. Question number 15. Explain how two conductors can be charged by induction. The question is how two conductors can be charged by induction. This is the process of acquiring the charges is induction. Please see the figure here. A and B are two metal spheres. These are spheres kept on an insulating stand. This is an insulating stand. They are brought in contact. So A touches the metal sphere. A touches metal sphere B. So a positively charged body, this is a positively charged body, is kept near A. Now the negative charges are induced in A because it is a distance. By induction, opposite charges are induced in A and positive charges are induced on B. So because of this positive, the electrons, negatively charged particles, come nearer it. So A becomes negatively charged and B becomes positively charged. Now in third step, in the step C, separate these steps. Though here hitherto they were touching one another. In the C they are separated. So A is negative and B is positive as by a small distance. That is, A and B are separated by a small distance. Now in the fourth step, this rod, the positively which we had brought, charging rod, is removed. Now afterward, the charges on sphere rearrange themselves. The charges on the spheres rearrange themselves. The charges which were nearer to the closed rod now distribute in A and B becomes positively charged. So now A and B are charged. Question number 16. Give three properties of electric charge. This question is asked in March 2018 examination. This is a 3-mark question. Now they have asked to give three properties of an electric charge. The similar question is also asked in March 2019. But here they asked write any two basic properties of charge. So that is a 2-mark question. So this question will be either 3-mark question or a 2-mark question. Answer. Like charges repel and unlike charges attract. That is, negative charges, positive charges, same charges repel. And if a positive and negative charges attract each other. Charges are scalar quantity, scalars. Third property is charge of a body is not affected by motion. Charge of a body is not affected by motion. Charges are additive in nature. Charges are always quantized. Total charge in an isolated system is always conserved. That is, the total charge is neither gained nor it is lost. These are the 6 properties. The details of this, particularly the properties, additive nature of charges, quantization of property, and conservation property have been explained in detail in chapter part 1a. Let us go to question number 17. What do you mean by quantization of charge? You see, we had studied here quantization. Quantization of charge explained. Answer. The total charge Q of a body is an integral multiple of magnitude of an electron. Charge of an electron, that is Q is equal to N into E. So it is given here Q is equal to N into E, where N is an integer, that is N can be 0, plus or minus 1, or plus or minus 2, or plus and minus 3, etc. That is an integer. N is an integer. Question number 18. What do you mean by property of additivity of charges? Explain. So this property we have mentioned in question number 16 and we are required to explain here. Answer. The total charge of a system is algebraic sum of all individual charges in the system. The total charges is the algebraic sum of all individual charges. That is, the total charge Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 plus etc. etc. That is the algebraic sum. Explanation. If Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Qn are charges in a system, then total charge of the system is Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 plus etc. up to Qn. That is the algebraic sum. Question number 19. What is meant by conservation of electric charges? Explain. The total charge of an isolated system is always conserved. When two bodies are rubbed against each other, there is a transfer of electric charge from one body to another, but total amount of charge remains constant. So charges are neither created nor destroyed. It is just transferred from one body to another body. That is the meaning of conservation. So we have explained 3 basic properties of charges. Quantization of charge in question number 17, additive nature of charge in question number 18, and in question number 19 we have explained conservation of electric charge. Question number 20. Write the SI unit of charge. This question is asked in March 2014 examination and this was 1-mark question. The answer is SI unit of charge is coulomb. Next question. State and explain Coulomb's law in electrostatics. March 2014, 2 marks question. 2000 and March 2020 also this is the important question and 2 marks question. State Coulomb's law, this is also asked in 2017, 1 mark, and 2019 also 1 mark. Hence define the SI unit of charge. Please note down all the answers also, as this will help you in making your short note. Statement. Electrostatic force between any 2-point charges at rest is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between charges. That means the force F is inversely proportional to square of the distance. Suppose R is the distance, F is proportional to 1 over R square and directly proportional to the product of magnitude of two charges and acts along the line joining the two charges. Let us explain this. Q1 and Q2 are 2-point charges separated by a distance r in vacuum. The force between them is given by F is equal to vector equals K into mod product of Q1 Q2 divided by R square, where K is the Coulomb's constant. K is the constant of proportionality. This is the equation. Force equal to K into Q1 Q2 divided by R square, where K is equal to Coulomb's constant. K is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. 8.99, that is equal to 8.99 into 10 to the power of 9 newtons meter square per coulomb square. Epsilon naught is the permittivity constant of this free space. Epsilon naught is equal to 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12 coulomb square per Newton meter square. F is equal to K into Q1 Q2 by R square. That is equal to its value. Suppose 1 coulomb. If we take Q1 as 1 and Q2 also as 1 and the distance of separation is also 1 meter, then the value of F will be is equal to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 newtons. This is the definition. Definition of 1 coulomb. SI unit of charge is coulomb. In SI units, K is equal to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 newtons. If Q1 and Q2 is equal to 1 coulomb and R is equal to 1 meter, then 1 coulomb is that charge when placed at a distance of 1 meter from another charge of the same magnitude in vacuum experiences an electrical force of repulsion of magnitude 9 into 10 to the power of 9 newtons. This you have to remember, because this question is asked many times in your board examination. Question number 22. Calculate the number of electrons required to make 1 coulomb of charge. Answer. Q is equal to, we know Q is equal to N into E. So 1 coulomb is equal to N, if 1 coulomb is equal to N into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. That is the charge of an electron. Therefore, from this equation, we can find the value of N. So, N we retain on the left side, and 1 coulomb divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. This value is substituted in the denominator. If you simplify, you calculate it, the value is the value of the number of electrons for this required will be 6 into 10 to the power of 18. Hence, 6 into 10 to the power of 18 electrons make 1 coulomb of charge. Thus, there are about 6 into 10 to the power of 18 electrons in a charge of 1 coulomb. Question number 23. What is the value of permittivity of free space in SI system? We know epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space in SI system. So answer epsilon naught is this, you have to remember, 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12 coulomb square newtons per meter square. Define SI unit of charge. This is a 1 mark question in March 2015 examination. Answer. 1 coulomb is that charge when placed at a distance of 1 meter from another charge of the same magnitude in vacuum experiences an electric force of repulsion of magnitude 9 into 10 to the power of 9. Please note here Q1, the value of Q1 and Q2 is 1 coulomb and the value of R is 1 meter. And the force of repulsion here, because same magnitude, both Q1 and Q2 are having same polarity. Hence, there is a repulsion force. They experience a force of repulsion force of 9 into 10 to the power of 9 newtons. This is the definition of SI unit of charge. You have to remember it. What is the SI unit of an electric field? Now, having covered charge, we will move to an electric field. The SI unit of electric field is newtons per coulomb. That is N into C to the power of minus 1. Or volt per meter. Question number 26. Is electric field a vector or a scalar? Answer is, it is an electric field is an vector. Question number 27. What is the direction of electric field around a positive charge? Here in this question, he is asking the direction of the field around a positive charge. The direction of electric field around a positive charge is radially outward. Please note, radially. For positively charged, it is radially outwards. Question number 28. What is the direction of electric field around a negative charge? Please note the direction of electric field in a negative charge. Answer is radially inwards. That means the direction of electric field around negative charge is inwards. Question number 29. Who introduced the concept of electric field? Answer is Faraday. Faraday introduced the concept of electric field. Define an electric field. Obtain an expression for it. Answer. Definition. Electric field due to a charge Q at a point is the force that a unit positive charge would experience when placed at that point. Q is the charge kept at O and another charge Q is placed at a distance R. Please see the figure. So Q is a charge. Q is a charge, capital Q is a charge kept at a point O. Another charge, small q, is placed at a distance of r. Please see the figure, these dotted lines. The distance between O and this q is r. This is a vector. And the electric field is away from this outward. Using Coulomb's law between these two charges, capital Q and small q, we can write the force between them as vector F is equal to K. It is a constant of proportionality into mod of product of capital Q small q divided by R square, and R is a unit vector in the direction of R. Therefore, force per unit charge. By definition, electric field is force per unit charge. Therefore, F is force, unit charge is small q. Therefore, E is equal to vector F divided by Q. That is equal to, if we bring here Q, it will be, electric field will be equal to K into capital Q divided by R square into unit vector, R hat, unit vector. Therefore, K, constant of proportionality, we know that 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, that is equal to 8.99 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton meter square, Newton per meter per Coulomb square, where R is a unit vector in the direction of force. Epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space. Question number 31. Write any two properties of electric field lines. So, this question was asked in March 2017. It is a 2-mark question. Answer. A. We are required to write only 2 in this, but we will write all the properties so that you can remember all of them. Answer. A. They are continuous curves without any break. Because electric field lines are continuous curves. They never cross each other. They cannot form closed loops. They start from, please note, they start from positive charge and end at a negative charge. This also is very important. They start from positive charge and end at a negative charge. They start from a positive charge and end at infinity. They start from infinity and end at negative charge. If the field lines are crowded, then the field at that point is stronger. So, if the field lines are crowded, then it means this is a strong field. If the field lines are far apart or the distance between field lines is more, then the field at that point is weak. If the field lines are parallel straight lines and equidistant, then field is uniform. See, this is also very important. In a uniform electric field, the field lines are parallel straight lines and equidistant. Around a single positive charge they are radially outward. Positively charged, they are radially outward. Around a single negatively charged, they are inward. Please note down all these points and make a short note. These questions and answers are very important in writing your short notes. Now let us take up question number 32. What are electric field lines? Answer. Electric field line is a curve drawn in such a way that the tangent at each point on the curve gives the direction of electric field at that point. Please note, this is also a very important point, because at any point, if you draw a tangent to the curve at any point, the tangent gives the direction of electric field. Please note here, the line is controlled such that the tangent, here you see, the tangent at each point on the curve gives the direction of the electric field at that point. Question number 33. Why don't two electric field lines cross each other? In the previous, when we stated previously in question number 31, we had told that electric field lines never cross each other. See here, the property was they were never cross each other. Now in this question number 33 is asking why the two field lines do not cross each other. Answer. If they cross each other, the field at the point of intersection will have two directions. Hence, this is not possible. Field can have only one direction. It is a tangent. Hence, they will not cross each other. Question number 34. Draw the electric field lines around a single positive charge. See, this is we are required to in this question. This is a single. You have to draw electric field lines around a single positive charge, that is Q greater than 0. Please see this figure. In this, there is a charge here at the center and all the field lines are pointing outwards. So this is Q greater than 0 and it's all the arrows are pointing outwards. Question number 35. Draw the field lines around a single negative. Here it is negative charge. That is Q less than 0. Previously it was Q greater than 0, positive. And in this case it is negative less than 0. Please see the figure. At the center it is a negative charge. See this center negative sign shows it is a negative charge. So all the field lines are converging inward, that is inward. They are joining, entering that charge point. So this is the electric field lines. Here positive is there, but it is not clearly visible. But let us assume that it is positive. Question number 36. Draw the electric field lines for a system of two positive point charges. See here earlier in this question number 34 and 35, there was only a single positive or negative charge. This was positive, negative. In this question number 36, he says a system of two positive point charges. Question. Okay. So please take, this is the example C. Example, see here, this is a positive charge and this is another positive charge. Plus Q here and plus Q. And we know the like charges repel each other. And the field lines emanating from positive are outward. So this is a positive, field lines are outgoing outside. See the arrow direction. Similarly, this also. But because they don't meet, they start and don't meet, they repel each other, and here the field lines become curvilinear. This is the field line system of two positive charges. The next question is 37. Draw the field lines around a dipole. You see, it is a dipole. Please remember, we are going to study about the dipole in the subsequent questions, subsequent slides. So dipole is nothing but a combination of equal and opposite charges. So equal means Q here and Q here. Opposite means one is positive and the other one is negative. So we know that the field lines start from the positive charge and end in negative. So these lines start from positive and end at negative. These are the charges. And there are other lines of forces which are not able to convert, but they will be going outside all around. See, at the negative, they are terminating and this is outward and this is inward. So this is the configuration of a field, electric field lines around a dipole. The next question, 38, is draw the electric field lines for a system of two negative point charges. Please take this question as your homework. It will be for a hint, I will tell you, it will be same as it except the arrow directions will be pointing inwards. And this marking will be, this will be Q1, Q will be negative and this negative. 2 negative means this will be negative and this will also be negative and arrow direction will be inward. Please do it and mark and practice it. Question number 39. Draw the electric field lines representing a uniform electric field. In the previous properties of electric field lines, we had studied about uniform electric field. See, this is the positive and negative, and this is the lines are parallel. These are electric field lines. Uniform, they are parallel and equidistant from each other. So this is a uniform electric field lines. What is an electric dipole? This is a question, 1 mark question asked in March 2016. Pair of equal and opposite charges plus Q and minus Q separated by a distance 2a is called electric dipole. The distance between positive and negative charge is 2a. Define dipole moment of an electric dipole. Write an expression for it. Question number 41. Product of one of the charges of a dipole and perpendicular distance between them is called a dipole moment. So therefore, you see, product one of the charges Q of the dipole and perpendicular distance between them, between plus and Q, plus Q and minus Q is called dipole moment. That is, dipole moment is represented by letter P and that is equal to 2AQ. This also you have to remember. That is, dipole moment is nothing but P is equal to 2AQ. This is the expression, where 2A is the distance between the charges. Q is the magnitude of the charge of dipole. Question number 42. Is dipole moment a vector or a scalar? Dipole moment is a vector. Question number 43. What is the direction of the dipole moment? From negative to positive. See, when there are two charges plus or minus q, the direction of dipole moment is from negative to positive. What is the SI unit of dipole moment? The dipole moment is coulombs meter. You know, here you see q is in coulombs, a is in meter. That is the distance. So SI unit is coulomb meter. What is the net charge of a dipole? The net charge of a dipole is 0 because the charges are positive and negative, and plus q minus q cancel each other, and hence the net charge is 0. Question number 6. What are non-polar molecules? Answer. If the effective centers of positive charges and negative charges coincide, then it is called non-polar molecules. That is, the centers of positive and negative coincide. Centers coincide. What are polar molecules? Answer. If the effective centers of negative charges and positive charges do not coincide. If they do not coincide, it is a polar. If they coincide, it is non-polar. This also you remember. Question number 48. Derive an expression for electric field due to an electric dipole at a point of axial line. So axial line is the line between the direction of line between positive and negative charges. Axial line. Now here we have to derive an expression for electric field. Please see the figure. Plus q and minus q form a dipole. This is an electric dipole. The axial line is in the direction. This is the line joining plus q and minus q. This is the axial line. So P is a point at a distance r. This is the center of the dipole, and P is located at a distance r from the center of the dipole on the axial line. This is axial line. So the distance between plus q and minus q is 2a, and dipole is from negative to positive. Hence the direction of dipole is from right to left, as shown here. We know from the definition of electric field, the electric field due to charge minus q, this is minus q here, is given by the equation equals, because the charge is minus q, it is given by 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by r plus a square. See, r is the distance, this is r is the distance, and minus q is located another a. See, this distance between plus q and minus q is 2a, half of it is a. Therefore, the distance between minus q and p is r plus a whole square, and it is the direction. It is a p hat is the direction. P hat is the direction of electric field. Similarly, the electric field due to the positive charge here is given by E due to plus q is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by r minus a square. You see here, plus q is nearer to p, so the distance center of the dipole is r, and this distance, the center to plus q is a. Therefore, the distance will be distance of q will be r minus a. Hence, we are taking in this equation r minus a. Let it be equation 2. The total field is the combination of vector E due to minus q and vector E due to plus q. This is shown here, and we have added 1 plus 2, and let it be equation 3. So now we have to simplify. When we add it, these the factors 1 over r minus a square due to positive charge, and minus of, this is the minus sign here, minus of 1 over r plus a whole square add. This is the combination of E minus Q and E plus Q. Simplifying terms in brackets. If we simplify this equation, we get 4ar divided by r square minus a square whole square. Please work out separately in your note down and simplify this blue colored equation terms. The term blue colored, and we get the combination as q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught 4ar over r square minus a square into whole square. Let this be equation 4. Since the distance r, the point P is located at a very far off distance as compared to the dipole length A, half of the dipole length A. For greater values of r greater than a, far greater than a, we can substitute r square minus a square as approximately equal to r square. This also you note down. Therefore, this term 4ar divided by r square minus a square whole square becomes, see, this becomes, we can get 0, this r square, r and r get cancelled. R square is r square minus a square whole square becomes r to the power of 4. This r and 1 r at the denominator get cancelled, and this becomes 4a divided by r cube. Let this be equation 5. You please note down simultaneously. You can pause and recalculate. This is very important. This is a 5-mark questions, and it will be asked definitely in your board examination as well as other competitive examination. Please note down and work the detailed calculations. So substituting these values 4a by r cube for this term, we get E is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught as it is. This becomes, this will be 4a by r cube, and p hat is the direction of a unit vector. But we know from the definition of a dipole moment that it is the product of 2aq equals p. We have to substitute. That is 2a, here 4a is there. 2aq will be p. So 2 it will be there, and E, the value of this will be 2p divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. This is the equation of field strength. Please remember, the field, electric field on the axial line, is given by the equation E is equal to 2p vector divided by 4 pi epsilon. So in the previous case, we calculated the electric field due to an electric dipole at the axial line. Now in this question number 49, we will see what is asked. The question says, derive an expression for electric field due to an electric dipole at the point in equatorial plane. This electric dipole is located at the equatorial plane. Equatorial plane is a perpendicular line between the dipole and the point. Answer. P is a point at a distance r from the center of a dipole on the axial line. Please see the figure here. P is a point, plus Q and minus Q is a dipole here. This is the perpendicular plane in the equatorial plane. This is the equatorial plane and P is located at a distance r. This is distance r here. R. This is the point P. P is located at a distance r from the center of the dipole. So now we have to calculate electric field due to negative charge minus Q and positive charge plus Q. It is given by the electric field due to minus Q is given by, you see, this is a right angle triangle. R is perpendicular and between Q and P, if you join, this becomes hypotenuse. And this distance, we know the distance between Q plus Q and minus Q is 2a and half of this is a. Hence, this distance is a. This is a. Hence, the hypotenuse is square root of, from Pythagoras theorem, we know hypotenuse is equal to r square root of r square plus a square in the p direction. P, the direction of P is between Q and P is, it is in this direction. This is the P direction. Here let it be equation number 1. Similarly, this was the previous one for negative charge, and similarly for a positive charge, it will be positive, be plus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R plus A whole square, P hat. This is the equation 2. The total field is the combination of E minus Q and E plus Q. That is, E is equal to, see here, please understand here, this is the component. Now, this vector E plus Q has two components, one vertical and one horizontal. Similarly, E minus Q is in opposite direction. It has got a component down below. The positive on y-axis, the positive and negative get cancelled. Only horizontal component remains. Hence, E will be equal to EQ cos theta, that is the horizontal component, EQ cos theta plus E minus Q cos theta. So, this equation is given here. This EQ cos theta plus E of minus Q cos theta is due to addition of the horizontal components. Therefore, adding and simplifying, we get 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught is common. Q plus Q, both are positive, hence it becomes 2Q divided by R plus A whole square. R plus A whole square, R square plus A square into cos theta is A over square root of cos theta is adjacent side. This is theta. Adjacent side is A. Hypotenuse is square root of A square plus R square. R square plus A square. This is equation 4. So for R far greater than A, the term R square plus A square is approximately equal to R square. and P also we know is by definition P is equal to 2AQ. Hence, substituting 5, this equation 5 in 4, we get E is equal to minus of 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. You see here, this minus P is here. This is minus P. Hence, this becomes minus P divided by RQ. This is the equation. So, that therefore, E is equal to minus of P 4 pi epsilon naught. So, please remember, in the case of axial line, it was positive and 2P divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. In case of equatorial, it is negative. Electric field is negative and it is minus of P 4 pi epsilon naught. Question number 50. What is the direction of electric field at a point on the equatorial plane of a dipole as compared to dipole moment? So, electric field in a dipole moment is opposite to that of direction of dipole moment. The direction of electric field is opposite to that of direction of dipole moment. 51. Question number 51. What are the factors which electric field at a point due to a dipole depends? Factors on which? Okay, that is the factors is the distance of the point and angle between the position vector r and dipole moment p. Question number 52. Then define linear density. Now, after having studied about the dipoles and dipole moment, now we are moving to charge densities. Define linear density of charge. Write an expression for it. Please see here is a linear rod of length L. This is a uniformly charged conductor of length L. The charge is delta Q. Charge per unit length is called the linear charge density. See, this is the definition. Charge per unit length is charge density. Therefore, if delta Q is the charge distributed over the length delta L, then the charge density is defined as delta is equal to delta Q by delta L. Please remember this. This is the linear charge density. Question number 53. What is the SI unit of linear charge density? It is coulombs per meter. You see, delta Q by delta L. Delta Q is in coulombs, L is in meter. So, coulombs per meter. Define surface density of charge. Now, and write an expression for it. So, here it was linear length. Now, the surface means it should be area. Okay, surface means unit area. Charge per unit area is called surface charge density. Therefore, if a charge delta Q is distributed over an area element delta S, then sigma is equal to delta Q by delta S. See, this is an area. It is a plate. Plate can be divided into different segments, squares or rectangles. Hence, this is the origin. The distance of plate between origin is R, and the point P is located at a distance R. So, delta S is the area. So, therefore, surface charge delta Q is equal to sigma into delta S. Question number 55. What is the SI unit of surface charge density? Surface density of charge. It is coulombs per meter square because area is in meter square. Therefore, sigma will be is equal to delta Q by delta S. Delta Q is Coulomb and delta S is in meter square. Question number 56. Define volume density of charge. Write an expression for it. See, this is a volume of a body. Here, you see, this is the origin. This is the delta volume, and R is the distance between origin, and R dash is the distance between P and the elemental area. Therefore, volume charge is equal to delta Q into rho delta V. Charge per unit volume is called volume charge density. If delta Q is the charge included in the small volume element delta V, then rho is equal to delta Q by delta V. That is coulombs per meter cube. What is the SI unit of volume density of charge? It is coulombs per meter cube. Write an expression for electric field in terms of volume charge density. Answer. We know electric field is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught sigma, that is sigma sum of all the elemental volumes, that is delta V, sigma delta V divided by R square. R square is the distance between P and the volume. Here it is shown as R dash. Actually, in this equation, it is for simplification purpose. We are writing R. Actually, it is, if you refer to this diagram, it is R dash. So, for the entire volume, rho delta V divided by R square into R hat. That is the direction of R dash. Rho is the volume charge density, delta Q is the charge, and delta V is the volume of small element, R is the distance of point to the volume of element, and epsilon naught is the permittivity of the vacuum. Please write down and practice it. Derive an expression for the torque acting on a dipole placed in electric field. Please see the figure here. This is a dipole. Minus q here and plus q. This forms a dipole. Plus q, and it is separated by a distance 2a. And here it is the center of the dipole. And dipole moment acts from the negative to the positive. So this is the direction of the dipole moment. And E is the uniform electric field. This is the electric field, vertically pointing upwards. Answer to the question. AC is the dipole and its dipole moment is P. This is the vector P. It is placed in a uniform field E at an angle theta. See, this uniform field is, and the angle between E and the dipole is theta as shown in the diagram. Force on plus Q is Q into E. We know from definition of electric field, force is equal to Q into E. This is acting plus Q is acting upward. This is the force. Force on minus Q is pointing downwards. Minus Q is minus QE. This is the one. Torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance between the forces. By definition, torque is force. Force into perpendicular distance between the forces. This is what is the perpendicular distance? BC is the perpendicular distance. See, this is acting downward, this is acting downward, upward, and the distance, perpendicular distance is BC. So, therefore, torque by definition is F into BC. There, but BC by AC is equal to sin theta. BAC is the hypotenuse and BC is the opposite side, because this is theta opposite side. So therefore sin theta is equal to BC is equal to AC sin theta, or BC is equal to 2A sin theta, because AC is 2A. Hence torque is equal to Q into E. Q into E is force, and 2A sin theta is the perpendicular distance, that is equal to PE sin theta. Or in vector form, if we write, tau is equal to torque is equal to P cross E. So please remember this. Question number 60. What is the direction of torque acting on a dipole placed in an electric field? The normal to the plane containing direction of electric field and dipole moment. Hence, the direction of torque is perpendicular to both. It is normal or perpendicular plane containing electric field and dipole moment. What is the net force acting on a dipole placed at an angle in a uniform field? Net force is 0. Question number 62. What is the amount of force and torque acting on the dipole placed at uniform field at an angle theta equals 0 and theta is equal to 180 degrees? Net force is 0 and net torque is also 0. Question number 63. When does a dipole placed in a uniform electric field experience maximum torque? Write an expression for maximum torque. When theta is equal to 90, then theta is the angle between this one. That means the maximum torque is experience maximum when theta is equal to 90, because torque is given by the equation T max is equal to P into E, that is equal to 2AQE. Question number 64. Mention the condition under which a dipole experiences torque but no force. Answer. When the dipole is placed in a uniform electric field at an angle not equal to 0 and theta is not a angle 180 degrees. This is the answer. The condition under which dipole experiences torque but no force is when theta equal to 0 or theta is equal to 180, where theta is the angle between the electric field and the dipole moment. Define electric flux. Write an expression for it. So electric flux. So now we are moving to flux. Answer. The number of field lines, electric field lines cutting the area segment normally is called electric field lines. You see the figure here. This is a circular surface. The lines passing at perpendicular to this surface are called electric flux lines. It is a flux lines is nothing but a number of electric lines. Number cutting the area at normally. That is normally means perpendicular to this area. This is the electric field, and normal to this surface is at 90 degrees. It is inclined like this. Formula is delta phi is number of flux is equal to E dot ds. That is vector E dot ds. That is the area, or removing the vectorial and writing E dot ds, E into delta s into cos theta. So theta is the angle between and outward normal to the area. This is the outward normal area. This is the definition of electric flux lines. Question number 66. Write SI unit of electric flux. 1 mark. So the SI unit of electric flux is newtons per coulomb meter square. Is electric flux a scalar or a vector? You know it is a number, hence it is a scalar. Question number 68. State Gauss's law. Some people call it a Gauss's law. Whatever it is. State Gauss law and write expression for it. Answer. Statement. The flux of electric field through any closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. Hence, statement that is Gauss law says the flux of electric field through any closed surface. The condition is closed surface is 1 by epsilon times the charge, that is phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. This is the definition, explanation. If q is the charge enclosed by a surface, flux phi through the surface phi is equal to q by epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space. Question number 69. Obtain a mathematical expression for Gauss law. So we have to a charge q, we have to find a mathematical expression. This is also important. This is derivation. A charge is enclosed by a sphere of radius r, a sphere. Consider a small area delta s. Flux through delta s is given by delta phi is equal to E dot ds. We have studied in the previous slide, we have seen E dot ds, that is equal to E is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by r square into ds, and this is a vector r in the r direction. See, this is the flux phi. Q is a charge enclosed in the body here, in a body, and this is an elemental area, and in this d phi, the flux is d phi here, and it is the area. So E is the electric field. This is the electric field here. See, electric field into ds is the flux. D phi is equal to E dot ds, and this is given by this equation. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by r. R is the radius of the sphere. Therefore, substituting d phi is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into ds into r vector modulus into cos theta. That is ds cos theta, delta s cos theta. R is a unit vector. Here, theta equal to 0. Because angle subtended is 0 and cos theta is cos 0 equals 1. And also r is equal to modulus of r is 1. Hence, delta phi is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into delta s. Total flux through phi, that is integrating or summation, that is phi is equal to sigma all through the surface sigma summation 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into delta s. This is same equation as this, and integrate, summing up. Therefore, phi will be is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square, that is summation of delta s, summation of the whole surface area. Therefore, all surface area is nothing but the total surface area of the sphere, that is equal to 4 pi r square. Because the area of the surface area of the sphere is 4 pi r square. We know from our mathematics knowledge. Therefore, phi is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r square. that is 4 pi r square, that is equal to, see, r square is this delta S is 4 pi r square get cancelled, 4 pi r square also get cancelled, that is q by epsilon naught. Therefore, phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. Hence, we have derived the expression for Gauss law. Q phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. Hence, Gauss law may be stated as electric flux through a closed surface area is 1 over epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. Obtain an expression for electric field due to infinitely long straight uniformly charged wire. Here, this is a conductor, this is a charged conductor here. This blue color is a positively charged color, and consider a Gaussian surface area here. Gauss law. Electric flux through the closed surface S is 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge, that is q by epsilon naught. Q is the charge distributed over the entire length. This is the entire length. Q is the charge length. L is the length of the conductor, small length of the conductor. E is the electric field, and this is the point P, which is located at a distance r. Linear charge density, we know lambda is equal to q by L, or q is equal to lambda L. Electric field at different points of distance r from charge is radially symmetrical. Electrical because the different points of distance, that is, it is a uniformly radially symmetrical. Electric field at a distance r is radially symmetrical. Imagine a cylinder, Gaussian, this is a Gaussian cylinder, a Gaussian surface of length L and radius R. Flux through the two circular ends of the Gaussian is 0. That is, the flux in the upper direction and the lower direction is 0. Hence, flux through Gaussian surface is equal to the flux through the cylindrical portion. This is the vertical cylindrical part only. Please underline that. So therefore, phi is equal to E ds cos theta, that is equal to E into 2 pi r L. Delta S is 2 pi r L into cos 0. Angle is 0. Therefore, that is equal to E cross 2 pi r L. Cos 0 is 1. Let it be equation 1. According to Gauss law, phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught, or phi is equal to lambda L. Q is equal to lambda L divided by epsilon naught. This is, let it be equation 2. From equation 1 and equation 2, E dot 2 pi r L is equal to lambda L by epsilon naught. L and L gets cancelled. Therefore, E is equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r. Hence, in writing vectorial form, we can write vector E is equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r into n, where n is the radial vector. Vectorially, this is the equation. This is the expression for electric field due to infinitely long uniformly charged conductor. Question number 71. Obtain an expression for field due to uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Previously we saw length of rod. In this it is plane sheet using Gauss law. This is a uniformly charged plane sheet, positively charged. Okay, this is a uniformly charged. Please see the figure. This is a uniformly charged through which an element is considered here. Gauss law. The electric frequency is the total charge surface is Q times the total charge enclosed by the surface. Consider a charge infinite plane sheet surface charge density Q by A. I will read here Gauss law first. The flux of electric field through enclosed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. 1 by epsilon naught. Consider a charge infinite plane sheet. Surface charge density of area is Q by A. That by definition we have seen the surface charge density is Q by A, or Q is equal to A into sigma. Here, the cylindrical Gaussian surface, this is a cylindrical Gaussian surface, is considered. Electric field lines are parallel to the curved surface and flux through it is zero. The flux through this is parallel is there and flux through it is zero. Flux through the surface 1 and surface 2. See, because the lines are parallel here, the surface of this Gaussian surface is 0. Flux flows only through the surface A and surface 2 here. And it is given by phi is equal to 2 into E cos 0 into A. That is equal to 2EA. The charge enclosed by the closed surface is Q into A. That is by definition of surface charge density. By Gauss law, phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught, or that is sigma A by epsilon naught. Therefore, it is 2EA here, comparing equation 1 and 2. 2EA is equal to sigma A by epsilon naught, or E is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught into vector n. You see here, AA gets cancelled, sigma by epsilon naught and 2 is brought to the denominator. This is the equation for the field due to a uniformly charged distribution sheet. With this, we come to the end of this part. The other portions like circular seal have been deleted from your syllabus for the year 21. So in the next part, we will take up numerical examples. Thank you.